G'day everyone, it's me Thomas Murphy Cosplay, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my Red Eyes Black Dragon deck profile, updated. So yeah, let's release the Red Eyes, or release the dragon. So last month I wanted to make this video of my Red Eyes deck profile, but I had a couple of minor delays. One of them was that the cards that I've ordered to update my Red Eyes deck didn't come as soon as I thought they'd be coming. And the other reason was that I've been a bit under the weather, which, look, I'm feeling a bit better, but I'm still not 100%, so this is why I sound a little bit different anyway at the moment. So, yeah, I just had these couple of minor issues anyway, but the one I'm dealing with right now is my cold anyway, but at least that I got the cards, which they took fairly long, but hey, at least I have them. Anyways, to start off with showing my Red Eyes deck, we got 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon, Red Eyes B Dragon, if you want, Ferocious Dragon with a deadly attack, obviously. I had this Red Eyes Black Dragon when I was 6 years old, years ago. One copy of Dark Magician, which this Dark Magician was originally my brother's when we were very young. Yeah, so that was actually belonged to my brother many years ago. 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon, a Gemini monster, which this gets treated as a normal monster if you special summon it, or when it's in the graveyard, but if you tribute summon it, or use a spell card to supervise anyway, it gains the effect that if it battles a monster, I can inflict 2400 damage, which is really cool. 3 copies of Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon, which is another level 7 Red Eyes monster that comes in pretty handy anyway, since you could just simply discard a Red Eyes monster, from your hand or field, so any kind of Red Eyes card, so your Red Eyes B Dragon or your Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon, or other types of Red Eyes monsters. And you can just special summon it anyway, which actually is really good if you're trying to do some Xyz summoning anyway. 2 copies of Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. If you discard a you can play this by sending a level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and you can special summon this and it gains an extra level. That's friggin' insane and really good for Xyz materials too. And you could possibly use it for fusion materials anyway, but when it's in the graveyard, you can banish one of them and you can search out for a Red Eyes fusion. So basically does a lot of things that helps the engine. Helps the deck in general. We have 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. That is a really important card to have in your deck, because you can basically revive any of your dragons from your graveyard, or most of your dragons from your graveyard, and it's also a Red Eyes monster. So it's really good, and it's a 2800 attack point monster, so it's a good card to have. 1 copy of Meteor Dragon, Red Eyes Impact. I don't use its Gemini effect that very much, because it's just a really has really low attack and defense, but it says other Red Eyes monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and it's a 2000 defense point monster, so it's kind of a little bit flimsy. Kind of a weak shield, but it's alright. Gearfried, the Red Eyes Iron Knight. I don't run Red Eyes Slash Dragon, but I use its equip effect, which basically does is that if it gets equipped by something, I can destroy a spell and trap card, and I can special summon a level 7 Red Eyes monster from my graveyard. And to go along with Gearfried, the Red Eyes Iron Knight, I run 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon, so to help with the equipping, so it also, your opponent, well, you gain 600 attack points for any Red Eyes monster you equip it to, but you can also use it for Gearfried, the Red Eyes Iron Knight as an MST, as well as a revival, so it's really cool kind of way to summon it. And if this gets sent to the graveyard, I can grab any kind of Red Eyes card I want, as long as it says Red Eyes in the title. But yeah, really important card to have. 2 copies of Blackstone of Legend, another special summon monster from the deck, and as well as when it's in the graveyard, you can actually shuffle back, add this back to your hand, or shuffle it. Yeah, add this card to your hand and shuffle a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster anyway. So yeah, you can do it. Reshuffle a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your graveyard back into the deck and add this to your hand. That's insane. 2 copies of Flamvale Guard. Now, I know that Red Eyes don't really have any synchros, unless you're talking about the Red Eye Zombie Necro Dragon, but we'll get to that later. And no, I don't have that to my Red Eyes deck. But the reason why I have this, since this is a level 1 monster, and it's also a normal monster, and I have cards that actually revive normal monsters anyway. So Flamvale Guard is compatible with Red Eyes anyway. Even though it's not a Red Eyes card, you could still use it. And that's it for normal and effect monsters. For ritual monsters, we got 2 copies of Lord of the Red, which Lord of the Red is a level 8 ritual monster, which basically that the effect is that during either player's turn, when a card effect is activated, I can destroy a spell or trap card on the field, which is a really awesome effect anyway, which is what I like using anyway. One of my favorite alternative versions of the Red Eyes. But yeah, that's it for monsters. We're going to look at some hand traps anyway. We got 3 copies of Effect Veiler. You could just basically discard one of them to negate a monster effect. 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Basically, you can stop your opponent from adding a card from their deck to the hand, or special summon from the deck, or sending a card from the deck to the graveyard. That's really useful anyway, so basically stops them from grabbing anything from the deck. 3 copies of Ghost Ballet Haunted Mansion. Basically, it stops your opponent from adding cards from the graveyard to the hand, or basically, or special summon monsters from the graveyard, or banishing cards from your graveyard. So it helps protect your graveyard from any banishing effects, such as like Call by the Grave. You can use that, and yeah, really cool card to not only stop your opponent from activating card effects from their graveyard, but also to help protect your graveyard at the same time. But yeah, that's all for the monsters and hand traps anyway. Let's get to spells. The spell cards, we have 3 copies of Red Eyes Fusion, which is very important to have anyway, since you can't have a Red Eyes deck without Red Eyes Fusion. Basically, what it basically does is that you can fusion summon monsters from not just from your hand or field, but also from your deck as well. And the fusion summoned monster becomes Red Eyes Bee Dragon, which is actually really helpful for the next card I'm going to be showing you. But the major downfall is that you can't summon any other cards after you've activated this card. So if you summon this, you can't summon anything else. So pretty restrictive, but it's still pretty good. So there are some pros and cons about this fusion spell. I run 3 copies of Inferno Fireblast. Goes really well with your Red Eyes Fusion, since Red Eyes Fusion monsters have more attack points, and it needs more burn damage on your opponent anyway. So, yeah. So it's really good. So I recommend use Inferno Fireblast on your Red Eyes Fusion monsters, not just for your vanilla Red Eyes Black Dragons. Anyway. 2 copies of Claw of Hermos, which obviously this is for your Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword. Not a searchable card like Inferno Fireblast, but still, good card to have if you want more fusions. Which these cards are basically specifically for a certain type of fusion monster, which we'll be seeing soon. Well, you obviously know what the Claw of Hermos is for. 2 copies of Cards of the Redstone. I used to use 3 copies, but since the fact that you're more likely to be sending a lot of your Red Eyes monsters from your hand, deck, and graveyard to the graveyard, I feel like that I only just needed 2 anyway. Just, because at the end it's like you'll run out of Red Eyes monsters to send from your deck to the graveyard, or your hand to the graveyard, so I just put in 2 instead of 3. So, there's that. 2 copies of Red Eyes Transmigration, which, obviously because of I have Lord of the Red, but at least that Red Eyes Transmigration is searchable, just like Red Eyes Fusion, from not just Black Metal Dragon, but also for Red Eyes Insight, which Red Eyes Insight, you basically Foolish Burial and search at the same time. So this is also why I kind of declined once for my Cards of the Redstone as well as Red Eyes Fusion, because I'm like, alright, I already got this and I can just search out. So that is why. 2 copies of Dragon Revival Rasfidi, which obviously that you'll be seeing why I have these anyway when we get into the extra deck. So basically you can summon 1 or 2 dragons, but you can actually summon 2 if one of them's a normal. So which is why Flamvell Guard is compatible, as well as the normal Red Eyes Black Dragons, and you can even use it for Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon if you want. But you gotta have a spellcaster, which you'll see the extra deck, so don't worry. 2 copies of Supervise for your Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon, which is also another way to burn your opponent's life points if you have Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. I wouldn't use it for I wouldn't even use it for my Meteor Dragon Red Eyes Impact, because like I mentioned earlier about the Gemini effect, it's kind of a weak defense anyway, so Yeah, Supervisor's a better card, is better for Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. One copy of Magical Stone Excavation, which you can use it for the FTK combo. So if you have Red Eyes Fusion, Magical Stone Excavation, and Inferno Fire Blast, you can do a bit of an FTK effect. Which, or you could just simply just bring up another card that you'd probably need anyway. One copy of Raigeki, destroy all cards and just swing for game. One copy of Silver's Cry. One copy of Wingbeat of Giant Dragons. Destroy all spell and traps and return a card back to the hand. So you can actually go, alright, Wingbeat of Giant Dragons. Okay. And then after when you've added a level 7 Red Eyes monster back to your hand, you can use this, draw 2 cards, and use a card that could help revive your level 7 Red Eyes Dragon. Super Rejuvenation, pretty important to have for any Red Eyes deck, especially when you're going to be tributing a lot of Red Eyes cards, not just from the deck, but also from your hand and field. So, just letting you guys know about that. Pot of Avarice, this is actually for when you run out of dragons to Foolish Burial, or anything like that. You can do that, reload, and there you go. One copy of Polymerization, that is optional, but that is for another extra deck, a specific extra deck monster, which you can use for any kind of, you can use other types of fusion monsters anyway, not just for Red Eyes fusion monsters in my Red Eyes deck. And one copy of Monster Reborn. I only use Monster Reborn for just Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, since he's very important in the deck. So, yeah, Monster Reborn, and that is it. No, there are no face-down traps anyway. I'm a little disappointed. I am pretty disappointed for the card Red Eye Spirit being a trap card and not a spell card. Because it just basically makes the deck a lot slower than ever, really. Because trap cards are not... I'm just not a fan of using face-down trap cards anyway. Anyways, let's get to extra deck right now. Now, I haven't really changed the extra deck that much, but we'll still have a look at it anyway, just so you guys remember. I run 2 copies of Meteor Black Comet Dragon. It's very easy to summon Red Eyes Fusion Monster, just like Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which we'll see later. Unlike the Archfiend Black Skull Dragon, but 3,500 attack points, although 2,000 defense, but 3,500 attack points if you use Inferno Fire Blast twice with this, as well as using the Graveyard effect. You'll basically auto-win, so this is a really good boss monster as well. And one of my favourite Red Eyes fusion monsters anyway. I don't have Archfiend Black Skull Dragon, which, I like it, but it's not that good of a card. Its monster effect is good, but the to summon it is more of a hassle than Meteor Black Comet Dragon and Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which basically, you know of this card, you know how much of a broken-ass card this is. Basically, you can just destroy a card and inflict life point damage, and you can negate a card, negate and destroy a card, and basically it gains an extra 1,000 attack points. That's friggin' insane. That is friggin' insane. One copy of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, which is the reason why I have Polymerization, which Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is really good, since you're basically running a Dark Attribute deck. And I thought, yeah, that's going to be a really good monster to play if you're, say, have a few odd cards in your hand anyway. 2 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword, which is obviously for your Claw of Hermos. Gives it basically 1,000 attack points plus 500 for every dragon that's in the field or graveyard. I do run 1 copy of Stardust Dragon, which for Stardust Dragon, this is why I have Flame Veil Guard, because since this is a level 8, you can grab your vanilla Red Eyes Black Dragon and tune Flame Veil Guard with Red Eyes Black Dragon and make Stardust Dragon, which is basically you just get a monster with an protective effect, as well as it being very easy to summon, since you're mostly summoning level 7s and a small amount of level 1s. So, yeah, having Stardust Dragon is very easy to summon, especially when you got Red Eyes, which is level 7, level 8. Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Yes, you do have Meteor Dragon, Red Eyes Impact, and Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, so you do have a couple of level 6 monsters anyway. Small amount, but yeah, decent amount. And you can also use it for Xyz material as well, so not just for what we're gonna see. Anyway, so you could just, so what it does is basically can negate and destroy a level 5 or higher monster with an effect. And if you if you want something bigger, you can combine with one of your Flame Veil Guards, and you can make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which basically can help you destroy any monster card that is a few levels higher, so 5 plus whatever. So it's a good card to play. Basically can just beat down anything that your Red Eyes can't actually destroy in battle. I run 2 copies of Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. This one's an ultimate rare. This one's just a gold rare, but yeah. This card is really important to have in your Red Eyes deck. You can, of course, use Clearwing for Xyz material, as well as your level 7 dragons, which basically that its effect is that you can detach 1 material to revive a Red Eyes normal monster, so it can be your Gemini or your regular Red Eyes Black Dragon. And while this has an Xyz material, you can basically inflict 500 damage each time your opponent activates a card effect, which is absolutely insane anyway. And also it cannot be destroyed by card effects, so it's really nice to have. I normally run 2 copies, just like I run 2 copies of Meteor Black Comet Dragon, Dark Dragoon, Black Dragon Sword, and Lord of the Red. I run 2 copies of those since they are basically my best monsters in this deck. I run 1 copy of number 11 Big Eye, which I forgot to mention that Dark Dragoon and number 11 Big Eye are mainly why I use Dragon Revival Rasputin. Link Summoning, I have 1 copy of Deco Talker and 1 copy of Wee Witch's Apprentice, which is also why I also have Dragon Revival Rasputin, which the extra deck summoning that you can do, as well as, like, say, if you were able to summon, say, 2 level 7 Red Eyes monsters, say, Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon and Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon, or or any of your other level 7 Red Eyes Dragons, you can actually possibly link summon this and use Dragon Revival Rhapsody to bring back her materials, and you can actually do that. Meteor Black Comet Dragon, I mean that, like I said about the FTK combo, you can do that. I once made a thought about this combo that I can do with summoning 2 Xyz monsters at the same time, which is basically number 11 Big Eye by sending a level 7 Red Eyes monster, say one of your level 7 Red Eyes dragons, and your Red Eyes B dragon to summon out Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon and Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. Xyz summon number 11 Big Eye. Use Dragon Revival Rhapsody to bring back the cards that I've tributed to make Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, and then you got 2 monsters anyway. With what I like using what I normally equip with the Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword is Lord of the Red, because for Lord of the Red, that you can actually combine Lord of the Red with the Red Eyes Black Dragon Sword, equip it, and basically that you basically activate the Black Dragon Sword effect, which also triggers Lord of the Red's effect that I can instantly destroy a spell and trap card, as well as gaining attack points. Even though that the trigger effect for Lord of the Red is a once per turn, it's still really good to play. Anyway, since you're mostly sending dragons to the graveyard, Stardust Dragon just basically helps your opponent, helps yourself by stopping your opponent from destroying cards, because even though that Meteor Black Dragon is a 3500 attack point monster, it still is not immune to instant destroy effects. Not even immune. Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon is, but not Black Comet Dragon. So there you go. This is my Red Eyes Black Dragon deck profile, and this is as much as I can say anyway. There might be some new stuff that I could do with this, but about building a Red Eyes deck, there are so many ways to build a Red Eyes Black Dragon deck, but it is... there are so many ways in general, really. So, like, you can build a Red Eyes Warrior deck, so you can use where you mainly fusion summon Red Eyes Slash Dragon. You can make a Red Eyes Xyz deck, you can make a Red Eyes Zombie deck, or possibly a Red Eyes Predaplant deck, maybe. But that's because that reason why I thought of that is because of me adding Starving Venom in the deck, Starving Venom in the deck, and it's like, oh yeah, they're dark attributed cards, so, anything you can do, but, this is how I built my, Red Eyes deck. I mean, there are other ways you can build a Red Eyes deck, but, anyways, I hope you guys like it, and, thank you so much for watching my videos and this update for my Red Eyes Black Dragon deck. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye.